it's your old buddy Mikerowchip here, and I am playing Microsoft Excel. Yeah. Some people have asked if they could see my spreadsheet when I run my Trainz videos, and so I'm going to do a real short video here on showing you my spreadsheet. Here it is here. This first tab on the far left is Industries. This is where I keep track of the industries and how many empties they have at each, and it also generates how many cars that industry wants you to pick up. Now, I'm a little bit zoomed out here, so we'll zoom in so you can see closer. Let's go to 200. Yeah, sure, that's nice. So you can see here, here's the name of the city. Let's go with Blainsville here. Blainsville, there's the name of the industry in Blainsville Mine. It's coal. That's the type of product they're producing there. There are 3 empties sitting there right now, and the next time an order is placed, they're going to want 1. Yeah, they're going to want 1. So that, when I click here, you can see those numbers change, and the number of cars right here, these numbers are all going to change every time I click on it. And that's fine, because obviously when I go down the list, when it comes time to ordering, I'm only going to have to click on it once, not every time. All right. Now, down here, these industries here, remember the F here is the orders. I could freeze this at the top, but I'm not going to. You can see that these had 16 there, and they wanted 10 to be picked up, and that's how much, 1458. So these are the actual orders that were made. Now, when this column here, when F, you see there's still some industries down here, this one has 59 of those bulkheads there, and they ordered 20. Now it's saying 33, but that's, the next time they order, that's what their order is going to be. That's what they ordered right now, 20. And some of these have cars waiting, and they don't have an order in. And what happens is when all these orders in column F, and then down here it goes, because there's nothing below there. When all these orders go to 0, then I type all these numbers into this column, and then that's my new orders. Does that make sense? I don't know. That's how I do it. You see Philip is picking up this one, Andrew's picking up this one, Levi's picking up David. There's nobody picking up this one, this one, this one, this one, this one, or this one, or this one yet. But as soon as those I have locals available, I'm going to send them out and do that. And now we're going to return it back to 100 because that's how I roll. Okay, then my next one is the North Yard. Here is what, whenever it's Thomas's turn, he has 4 different things he has to do. In his first turn, he's going to hump, which we just saw in the latest video. Actually, 2 videos ago. Or actually, the latest video as well. And then we saw him drill. That's what he's doing now. And then he's going to do a road trim, and then he's going to do a local trim. And every time I come to him, you see I keep an X in the column here so I remember what task he has to do. Here's just a list of all the engines that I use and their horsepower ratings that I looked up. And then down here is the actual yard itself. Now, these are all OBE. That's outbound east. This is inbound west. This is actually the west yard where cars go depending on what their destination in the west yard. This is the south yard. This is all at north yard, which is why I named that there. And then this is the hump. All of this right here is the hump. Track 10 is the one that is the drill track. Goes right down the middle. If you want to know what I'm talking about, you got to watch one of my videos. But here again is where all the hump destinations are, and then anything that doesn't have room in the hump gets put into the south yard and then the west yard. Right. This also keeps track of any trains that have been created and who's coming to pick them up and how much they weigh. All right. Then we have our work orders. This keeps track of whose turn it is. Here, what I'll do, see, I got this line right here. I'll do one of these, then 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 I'll do one of these. So right now it's Thomas's turn in our latest video. When Thomas is done, we're going to go to Kenny. Then when Kenny's done, we're going to go to Adair. Then when Adair's done, we're going to go to Graham. Then when Graham's done, we're going to go to Sean. And I keep bumping back. Now, these guys get a lot more turns, obviously, than these guys down here because there's a lot fewer of them, which makes sense to me because those are our passenger trains. We want to keep those moving. And working the yards, working the 2 main yards. Jeff doesn't get a turn. That's why he's right there. He's just, I wrote him down there just to remember that he's there, and he's at the Gunnison yard. He does work when work rolls in. That's it. Here again is that list again. I think it's the same list. I don't know, of all my different engines. Here are all the engine numbers that I have on the route right here. Now, if you're thinking, wait a minute, you only have 8, and yet you have like 30 engines. Remember, sometimes I double them up. and this is when they get their last maintenance. I keep track of their maintenance schedule like this. Is this accurate or anywhere near what's in real life? I have no idea. But what I do is if they're between 1 and 120 months, they get 1 day of service. You can see the oldest engine I have right now is 17 months, and these up here as well. The ones that don't have anything on there, well, actually, the oldest engine the age is over here at 21 months. But if they don't have anything over there, that means that they've not been to maintenance yet. And then that way I can keep track of it as they get older. They'll have to have more days in maintenance. And I'm going to keep them up to 40 years, which is 480. This right here, the horn thing, that's what I keep when I do my automatic horns on my various routes. So if the speed limit is 25, the automatic horn has to be placed on the track 394 feet away. And the faster you go, the farther away it's going to be set. I found that from the guy who made that. Is there anything down here? No. That made that mod. Now, over here, we have all our switch lists for our various drivers. Here's Duke. He's going to pick all these cars are on his list right now. Now, when Duke, whenever I say, okay, Duke's going to pick up these amount of cars here, I'll highlight them in green like this. Where's my other? I'll highlight it in green like this. And that way, when new things come in, so something new comes in and I got to type it here. I know that that's not on his current switch list. He's only doing what's highlighted in green. Right now, Duke is sitting at Gunnison. He's being refueled, which is why none of these are in green right now, because he's not going to get any of them. And that way I can keep track of what he's already on his way to get and what remains the next time. Then here are each one of my locals. Green means that they are picking cars up, and red means that they are delivering cars. So I can keep track of that. Keeps track of this one is delivering cars here. He's delivering to Elmview. It talks about the car's weight. And then down here is where he's actually unloading them. He's got, this doesn't make any sense here. 2 cars, got 14 completed. I have to look and see what Andrew's doing. I may have screwed that up. But this one here, the Gilby, Dave is loading the Gilbys, and he has 33 cars he has to pick up, and he's completed 0. That was from my episode with this, which was this refinery looks less crude, or something like that. So you can see each one of them. Occasionally I'll change how I do it to make it easier for me. And so sometimes, it doesn't get updated till later, but that's neither here nor there. You can see here, Levi is working Burnfield, Esso Flats, and Flagston, and how much he's done right there so far. So that's how I keep track of all my switch cards. Then there's my passenger trains. Here's Sean. And this is, we'll zoom in here a little bit. You see a little bit better? Keeps track of what station he's at. Like right now, he just left Dunford because he picked up 76 passengers. And now he's on his way to Fenton. When he reaches Fenton, he'll go to Destin. And then I have RA, which means a runaround. He's got to run around and go to Mapleview. Now, this is red just to highlight that that's the last one on the route. Then when he's done at Mapleview, he will head back to North Yard, right? And you can see no one's on this run right now. I have 4 runs altogether. There's nobody on this run, and up here is where Adair is. Now, these prices, I used to keep track of how much money I made, which was fun for a while, but then it got to be kind of a drag. So here he picked up, in Elmview, he picked up 116 110 tickets. Here's the random. Here's the actual number that I chose at the time. And it was $5,473 is how much money we made off of that. So, yeah. There's the passengers. Then there's the actual route itself. I just wrote down the names and put little X's in between them. I mean, there's a track. So in between Graydon and Madison, there's track. And then I could keep track of where the track goes at that point as well. And the reason I put the little X's in between, because it got a little confusing over here on this part. It got confusing as to what, because I had these all listed. Now, is Vincennes connected with Flagston? I don't know. So I put the little X's in between. So you can see it goes up here, it goes up over this way. I put Millbury is also connected back to Lewiston. That's why I drew that line right there. And then it just goes all the way across to Ashley. So that's that. And then here's a list of all my rolling stock that I use. I put each of them on the track, loaded and unloaded, and then looked at their weight, so I know how much they all weigh when they're empty. I know how much they all weigh when they're loaded, and then that way I keep track of how many engines I need to put on there. I also wrote down the COODs for the ones that I could find, the KUID, I think that's how you say, right? COOD, of all the ones that I was that I'm using in case something crashes or something like that. I can go back and find it or whatevs. These here are just used to figure out my box cards because my box cards have a whole bunch of different looks to them. There's different types of box cards out there, so it randomly picks what type I'm going to use and how many I'm going to use. So out of the goods cards here, I use the R box numbers 2, 4, 2, and 1. I use Norfolk Southern. I use CSX, Burlington Northern, the AC and all the ACF box cards that are out there, and then the high cube ones, which are 1 and 2. And so it picks a number between 1 and 8, and I pick that box car out of these here. And I have that all in my pick list that's in Trainz. So that's how I do that. And then here's my inbounds. Here, when a train comes inbound, I write down everything that the spreadsheet tells me to do, and then I go back into the game and actually type it all in when I'm doing my tagging, my car tagger rule. So I keep track of them all, whether they're empty or loaded, where they're going, and how many there are. And once I have them all here in my spreadsheet, then it's much easier for me to go into the game and transfer information onto the cars themselves. And then finally are the orders. These are all the industries. I had to go through and look at all the industries of all the stuff and what cars they need and how many they want. Holy moly, did that take me some time because this is a huge route. But I did it. They're highlighted in yellow because I was highlighting them in yellow as I was doing them. So I remember which ones I did and which ones I didn't. Because I had an older version of it, and they put new industries in there, so I was kept trying to keep track of it. It doesn't really mean anything. The Q is how big the Q would be if it was, how you can set up your own industries. You can figure out how big the Q is, and then from that I can determine how many cars would be probably ordered. The bigger the Q, the more cars you can have. And, of course, these numbers here that say next order are my randoms, and you can see that when I do this, you can see all the random numbers changing. Sometimes they need to want a lot. Sometimes they don't want a lot, whatever. And then I go through and I type in the orders. The orders, you can see, do not change. So once all these orders are filled, you see these orders have all been filled. This one here, the aviation fuel, Ogden Heliport still wants 2. The other ones do not want anything. And as we go down, you see I'm going from top to bottom. I'm filling this list out for the most part. What I also do is I put a filter on these columns, and you see these red things here. What that does is it looks at all the numbers in this column from top to bottom, and it will put the top 10% number of cars, and it'll highlight it automatically in red. That's what it does. So if I take this right here and I make it 100, you see how it turns red automatically? Because now that's within the top 5, or top 10%. And then it goes, and I can put it back to 0. It'll go down like that. If I take this 5 right here and I put it to a 2, it'll no longer be highlighted. That way, I don't do, because when I first started, I used to do it from the top to bottom, but then, I'd get all these cars all at the beginning of the gameplay, and then these down here would be ignored. So now what it does is it highlights. I still work from top to bottom, but I only pick the highlighted cars. I ignore all these in between, because these are the orders that are the largest. Again, is this the way they really do it in real life? No. But I have found that it gives me a really good spread of different cars all coming in and being shuttled around on there. So, yeah, this is not prototypical at all. Okay, so that is, some people have asked, and now I've done it. I've given you a real quick look at my spreadsheets. Not real technical. Yeah, it's just more functional than it is technical. If you want to learn how to do any of this, it's pretty easy, actually. The Excel program will teach you how to do everything you really need to know. And then, of course, there's YouTube videos that'll teach you everything you want to know. All right, boy, I hope you loved this one. It was exciting, wasn't it? Okay, now I'm going to go off and I'm going to film a farming simulator video, and I'll be putting that up as soon as I can. Hope you had fun. subscribe, comment, like? Sure. All right. If you don't like the fact that I use a spreadsheet on my games, guess what? This may not be the channel for you.